Okay, hello everybody. I'm here today in Roseto Val Fortore. Siamo qua a Roseto with my cousin Carmen
Ciao.
and Giulia, and they live in Bologna. So we're all from Roseto, but I live in the United States and they live in northern Italy. So today we're going to make real Bolognese lasagna. Lasagne. Yeah, lasagne. Different places call it different things. Some places call it lasagna and some places call it lasagne. Com'è differenza?
Esatto.
Com'è la differenza?
Lasagne è il plurale, le lasagne, mangi le lasagne, non ne mangi una, mangi
So
tutto.
lasagne is actually plural, but they in Bologna come si chiama?
Le lasagne.
They call it plural in Bologna, which is where originate.
Anche se vai al ristorante chiedi un piatto di lasagne.
But the rest of Italy calls it lasagna. So they call it singular, and in Bologna, lasagna è originata in Bologna, see?
Sì.
So lasagna is it's from Bologna originally, so it's bolognese, even though it's not just, we know in America as bolognese is just a sauce, but it's not just. Anything that is of Bologna is bolognese. So anyway, so we're starting out doing things already here. We are going to make the spinach pasta. We are going to make the bechamel sauce. We are going to make the ragu, the special bolognese that's going to go in this sauce. There is no mozzarella in this.
No.
No mozzarella in real.
Solo parmigiano e bechamel.
Just parmigiano and bechamel sauce. So that's what we're going to make today right here with real people from Bologna. Okay. Va bene?
Ho fame. Okay. Sì.
We're already hungry, and because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, we all just had a light little lunch so that we could have this a little later on. But we waited for you all to wake up, so we're going to be doing all this stuff. It's going to be a little while because we're doing a couple things, so I urge you to stay and watch, or put me in the background and keep listening, or come back and check on it later, but this is going to be a really good recipe. So, I make a good lasagna, but these people they live in Bologna, and they're my blood, so that makes it better. Okay, so, vuoi che ti aiuto? Va?
Sì, se tagli la cipolla.
Okay, so right now we've got a couple things going on first. We've got a pot of water boiling because we are putting fresh spinach. We'll show you, you don't need to see fresh spinach go in the water. Se è pronto, mettila. Okay, make sure you put the spinach in salted water. Quanto sale metti? Okay, yeah, just come over there. Così posso dire in English. Okay, about a tablespoon. About a tablespoon, or your inner. Oh, there you go. She's showing you a little handful of salt in a good sized pot of water. We're gonna cook. Quanto spinaci usi?
250 grammi.
So,
mezza busta, Gio, mezza busta.
It's a good.
Perché adesso sono tanti, ma dopo una volta cotti.
Yeah, in the end, it's going to be about a handful of it cooked and squeezed out. So, at home, in the States, if you're buying some spinach, it's probably 2 bunches. So, anyway. So, in the meantime, Carmen and I...
Scusa, non troppo sale, perché dopo va messo il sale anche nell'acqua, dove sbollentiamo le strisce di pasta.
Sì.
Quindi se no viene troppo salato.
Don't
e
put...
poi anche il ragù è già condito.
Okay, so she's saying be careful with the salt. Now this is we got a big rolling pot of water, so it's not too much to put a tablespoon of salt in, but be careful with the salt because we put some salt in the pasta and some salt in the sauce, so you don't want to over salt. So anyway, so I am cutting up the onion. She's just cut up celery and carrot, carota. Cipolla, carota e sedano.
Questa è la base per il ragù.
This is the base for the ragu.
Da noi si chiama soffritto.
So, I think some people have heard it. It's called a soffritto. Anche noi capisce questa parola. Anche in spagnolo si usa soffritto. So even in Spanish they call it sofrito. That's the carrot, celery, and onions, the famous trifecta of important flavors. So carrot, celery, and onions will always give you a great base flavor. So you're making everything very small because you want it to really melt down and blend in. Piccolissimo. And Giulia's making she's making lots of mussels here. She's grating the cheese because we don't have a food processor here, so we're doing it the old-fashioned way. This is one of the best. This is the best cheese grater because you just grate on top, and then you've got this wonderful. See, and it's a nice all this cheese under here. So we've got a good amount of cheese. Questo è quanto? Mezzo chilo?
Sì,
Sì. No, it's about a pound. Mezzo kilo is about a pound of grated. It has to be Parmigiano cheese. No Romano, no Grano Padano, no nothing. Parmigiano. So the base of the sauce is ready. What we're going to do is we're going to put the sauce together first and let it cook while we're making our pasta. Okay. I'm going to give it a couple extra chops here, make sure it's all nice and even. Tutto giusto così. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with this nice pot here. We're going to start with a nice, let's see. I'd say a good, okay, maybe a good half a cup at least of olive oil. Un po' che mando poco, sì.
Ancora?
No, sto dicendo. No, stavo dicendo che tu hai messo dopo un altro po'. Ok. Have fun there? Hey, you know,
Giulia, però tu andavi più veloce.
Yeah,
lo so, perché non è abituata.
yeah, she can learn. She said that Julia does it faster. All right, so now we've got our carrot, celery, and onions going into the sauce. Oh, and this little bit of onion, this carrot here. So, my good old pampered chef. Things that I brought from home here. These are great because they bend. One of those things. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to start cooking that. We're going to cook it down until it's nice and soft. You can see it's all pretty in the and we have all kind of fun stuff going on. You know, Julia's putting things away, almost knocking the fan over. It's okay because it is hot in Italy today. It's been hot in Italy all week. Really hot. We're going to see right here. We have the stovetop. So we are going to start making the bechamel. Okay, I'm just going to stand here and talk to you a minute while she's putting everything together. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I hope that you'll stick with us throughout the whole thing, because this is going to be awesome. Hopefully we'll get it baked, and you can see that. If not, I'll put the finished picture on at the end, but we will at least get it to the point where we get it in the oven. So, quando burro metti?
Per un litro di besciamella, 100 grammi di burro.
Okay, so for 1 liter of bechamel, we're going to put 100 grams of butter. So,
100 grammi di burro.
Okay, 100 grams of butter. And 100 grams of flour.
1 litro di latte.
And 1 liter of milk. So that's what we're going to start with. So if you want to make your own bechamel, so you're going to put the butter in first. Well, she's counting it out there. They are very precise when they do things here. Very specific. Okay, here we go. So, burro. So here, 100 grams of butter. And you're going to melt that first thing. And one thing you got to remember is that you have to keep this on low heat because you don't want to burn it. Okay?
Perché se fai bollire il burro, lo fai soffriggere.
Yeah. Because if you burn the butter, forget it, you've ruined it. Okay, so she's measuring out the flour. There we go. What's that side? No? Seems like a lot, but you know what? All of a sudden, the fan just blew this. I can smell the sofrito is cooking, and boy, you can smell it already. So we're going to show you 2 things here. One, she just made her own whisk by putting a spoon and a fork together. So she doesn't have a whisk here, because this is actually Julia's apartment. She's got a nice little kitchen here. And she's mixing it all together. So you take the butter off the heat so it doesn't continue to boil, and you add the flour into it until it's a nice blob. And now they're going to cook it on the stove a little bit more. Okay, so it's nice and all mixed together, the flour and the milk, and now, the flour and the butter, and very slowly, room temperature milk, they're putting it in, and she's stirring while she adds the milk.
She said you have to stir while you pour the milk in slowly.
You have to keep stirring while you pour the milk in slowly, what she said. Because she's done it very carefully and very slowly with the milk, there's not one lump in this cream, and that's exactly how you want it.
Aspetta. Ora mettiamo un po' di noce moscata.
Oh yes.
E un pochino di sale.
A little bit of salt and a little bit of nutmeg. Okay, and a little bit of salt. It's probably about a teaspoon of salt. So quando devo fare? Mezzo Adesso?
Metti il sale?
Okay, she's putting salt first. She told me to wait.
Basta.
Ok.
Okay,
vai,
oh, grazie.
Vai.
Se no viene troppo salato, mamma.
Basta.
Basta.
Ah, ok.
Okay, so about a half of a good size enough. Sicuro said basta?
Sì,
Okay.
brava, ok. E li mettiamo sul fuoco.
Now it's going to go back on the flame,
Si deve addensare.
on low. Now, the one thing that they are very, she was talking, we were talking about this last night. One thing very important is she says you do not want a thick bechamel. You want it to be almost liquidy because they want it to be really creamy. È vero? Vuoi più liquido denso, non vuoi troppo.
Non troppo denso, se no rimane, si deve sciogliere.
It needs to kind of melt. Oh, beautiful. So this is the carrot, celery, and onions that have been cooking. They're nice and, bello l'ora. Yum. And it's not a whole lot. It's not like 10 carrots and 10 pieces of celery. You saw how much it was. It was one, I'll call it a medium carrot, and it was maybe the equivalent, because she had a bunch of little pieces of celery. It's probably one, maybe not even a stalk of celery, and then half an onion. So now we're putting in approximately, let's see, what is it?
Manzo e maiale, 1 chilo più o meno.
It's approximately a kilo, which is about 2 pounds. It's half beef and half pork, ground beef and ground pork. Okay, let me just show you something. This big container is full of grated cheese, and she's saying, it's probably enough.
Allora, gli spinaci.
So apparently it takes quite a bit of
Gli
parmigiano.
spinaci sono pronti, li puoi scolare.
Okay,
Adesso
finish
facciamo
it,
la
finish
pasta.
it. Okay, and now that the spinach is done, we are going to make the pasta. Okay.
E allora vieni qua a guardare.
Sì.
Aspetta che vediamo.
Sì, boss.
Perché qua non c'è una misura purtroppo.
Here, there's no measurement.
Perché bisogna vedere,
You need to
valutare.
see it. The thing is, I know so many of you watching want exact measurements. Okay, questo,
E questo era da un
this is
chilo,
1
l'abbiamo bene
kilo,
contato.
and we took out 100 grams. So there's about a pound. This is a little less than half left in here. So
Sì.
this is what we're making, as you see, a big thing. All right, so she said the way she's doing it, she's using she's using 3 eggs, and then she'll add, because basically the base, the measurement, allora tu fai più o meno un'uova per quante persone?
Per quante persone?
O per quante porzioni?
Quanto viene, mamma?
Allora, qui 8 porzioni piene ci vengono, 8 belle porzioni.
So what we're making here is your standard baking dish size, and it takes 3 eggs, which will make about 8 portions. Okay.
Sì.
Allora.
Posso andare?
8. Okay.
8, sì, 8.
Well, she said 8 big ones.
Okay, 8 big ones. I always cut in 9. I don't know.
Perché poi si fa il bis.
Io sempre fa 3.
Sono piccoline queste uova.
No.
Bravo,
Carmen, sono piccole queste uova.
Mettine un altro allora.
Dimmi.
Okay, she said these are small eggs. So basically, this is the equivalent of bigger than medium. These are basically large eggs from home, but they seem to be a little small in her book. So we're using 4 eggs, which means we're going to be adding more flour.
Allora,
Dimmi.
mescoliamo, ci serve un pochino di sale.
All right, so just going to put in a little teeny bit of salt, which is approximately half a teaspoon. So half of a spoon, and a pinch more. Okay,
Poi un pochino di olio.
a little bit of olive oil, which is going to be about
A teaspoon.
a
2
table.
cucchiai, un cucchiaio.
2 teaspoons or about a tablespoon. Okay, that's
Adesso
so about a
sbattiamo.
handful of squeezed out spinach. Okay,
Lo tagliamo un po' perché sennò rimangono le foglie.
and of course
gambe.
this was fresh spinach, so she's cutting it up, so it's not going to be all long and stuck in here.
Aspetta,
But I'm not gonna-
un altro po'.
So she just cut it up in little pieces.
Ok.
Posso
Okay.
mettere?
And she's adding it to the egg mixture.
Adesso piano piano cerchi di impastare tutto insieme.
And a little bit, you're just mixing it
Ma
together.
hai finito con gli spinaci?
Sì.
Ok.
E bastanza.
Sì, non
Okay.
devono venire.
I'm just asking because she's asking her mother if the spinach was finished. And I said, well, is it enough? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And you want to really, you're going to mix this up really good because you want the spinach to break up and fully color the pasta. And it's going to be fully green, not white with little green stripes in it.
Guarda com'è bella, guarda. Sta venendo proprio
It's
bene.
already turning beautiful green.
Tu più la fai e più.
So Angelia's going to be the food model.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So I want you to see how there's still some give to it.
Questa è mia.
Okay? And this is just leftover flour. We're not going to put it all in. You're going to let it riposare un po', which riposare sounds so much nicer than rest. But anyway, quando noi...
Sì.
Vuoi che metto il coperto?
Sì.
Yes, see, I was ready. I'm covering it up. We're going to cover it so it doesn't make a skin. We're going to let it rest for a few minutes while we're getting all the rest of the stuff ready. Okay, now we're going to talk about what comes next in the ragu. So, we have a good half a cup of olive oil, we have carrot, celery, and onions, and we have half beef and half pork ground that was approximately, quanto carne era? Un kilo tutto? So it was about 2 pounds of meat all told, all together. We're adding some tomato paste. Quando mette tutto questo?
Lo guardiamo mentre...
All right, so we're putting in about, quando misura?
Questo
okay.
è
We're putting in
130, è il tubetto classico.
1 tube of, they use tomato paste in a tube. This would basically be the equivalent to one of those small cans of tomato paste at home. They like the tomato paste because it makes it nice and dry. Can you see? I think you can see. Okay, oh, there we go. So we're squeezing it in here. Multiple hands.
Tutto.
Whole can. So 1 whole can of those little cans that we get at home back in the States, or a tube if you find the good stuff that's from Italy. So this is, unless you make your own, we'll do that another time, making homemade.
Ok.
Okay.
Perfetto.
Metti questo dopo una
bottiglia.
And then see that jar of tomato sauce back there? A thin, you want to put in a thin, basic, like a tomato sauce, not a puree, like a puree or a sauce, not a crushed and not the fresh whole tomato, like not the big tomatoes. Okay, and of course always clean out the jar with a little bit of water, probably equivalent of about half a cup of water.
Poco.
Di acqua. Sì. Anche io.
Poco perché deve bollire.
Sì.
Oh yeah, she wants us to put a little bit more water in it because it needs to be just liquidy enough to come to a boil so that it really makes everything come together. Okay. So maybe half to 3/4 cup of water.
Perfetto. Facciamo bollire e poi vediamo.
And now we're going to bring it to a boil and then let it just simmer. Allora si mette a bollire e dopo si vasce e fa cucinare così.
Sì. Minimo 1 ora e mezza.
Normally, turn it just a little space.
Ma minimo, perché ce ne vorrebbero,
Sì.
per il vero ragù ce ne vogliono 2/3.
For real, authentic ragu, you got an absolute minimum, as she was just saying, minimum, 1 hour and a half. But if not, per fare migliorissimo, quanto ore cucina?
3.
She said to make it really good, you want to cook it at least 3
Perché
hours.
più lo fai cucinare e più è
Deve
meglio.
fare come la pentola dei fagioli. Piano.
You need to let it just continue to cook, and then it just gets thick, and it just, as she said, just makes little bubbles up it, because it's just this thickness with just little bubbles. Aspetta, come si fa? Everything's about feel and sound and touch and smell.
Vogliamo cominciare
Siamo
a
pronti?
stringere? Vai di Mattarella.
Vai, cara.
Vai, stringere.
Oh, now they want me to do the stuff. Okay, allora. Quanto?
No, da mettere dentro.
Sì, puoi. Ok, no, non fai perché lei...
Sì, che si fa.
Okay,
È che io vedi
dammi
vicino
uno.
proprio alla
Okay,
meridionale.
because
Lei
one of the
Ma lei
things
è
that...
meridionale di me.
Vedi, io ci metto sempre il pezzo di formaggio
So,
dentro, che si insaporisce.
My cousin
Non esiste a Bologna.
my cousin Carmen grew up her whole life in Bologna.
Anch'io.
And Julia too, but Julia loves it down here, and she's learned a lot of the things and kind of fused the north and the south together. And a lot of people, what they do is they'll take a piece of the rind and throw it in the sauce and let it cook.
Of the cheese.
Of the cheese, the rind of the cheese that we grated and didn't grate our thumbs. She's saying no, she's saying yes. Okay.
Metà.
Volevo mettere metta così e vediamo com'è.
Dai, l'abbiamo leggermente imbastito.
Allora, vuoi mettere?
Sì.
Ok. The young one. Vabbè.
Allora, nel frattempo, mentre tu stendi, io metto sull'acqua per sbollentare le strisce di pasta per poi metterle nella teglia.
Okay, so while we're doing this, she's getting the water ready that is going to come to a boil that eventually we're going to put the pasta in for the minute to cook before we put it in the pan. So we are going to roll ourselves out. Okay, so let's see if I can do this Italian style. Ready? So the way you do Italian style is you roll this whole baby up.
Vediamo un pezzettino di questo.
I think this is just about done here. Allora, mio è grande, penso che
Ancora
è abbastanza sottile qua. Is this nice?
Però il sapore è completamente diverso. Perché qui gli
Per cosa?
ingredienti sono diversi, forse
Ok.
sono più naturali, forse sono più...
Questo è
I
come-
sapori sono un po' più selvaggi, più
Sì.
aggressivi, più
Il
forti.
sapore della carne qui è più forte rispetto
Ok.
alla nostra.
Sì,
So one of the things they're talking about right now, of course, as they're tasting things, però ancora buono, sì.
Sì, è buono, è molto buono, però da noi viene un pochettino più delicato.
So Northern Italy, everything's more delicato, more delicate.
Ma anche gli ortaggi, capito?
Sì,
Qua
qui
sono
hanno il
tutti
sapore.
The
fatti
animals,
nell'orto.
so she's saying that the meat
Ti va bene?
up north is a little bit more delicate flavor. Down here it's more,
Secondo me devi arrivare
you know, it's like the South, you know, it's tough, it's a little, probably, I'm gonna probably say in a term that we would be more comfortable saying, maybe a smidge more gamey, a little bit more wild. It's what they're eating. They probably they feed the animals here different things than they feed the animals. Perché al nord gli animali mangiano cose con con crema e noi qua mangiamo cose con pomodoro.
Può essere, perché qui i sapori sono più decisi, più...
Here the flavors are all more strong,
diverso dal
more
nostro.
pungent. I'm joking with her that in the north the animals eat cream sauce and down here in the south they eat tomato sauce. So anyway, but she's saying it's very
Si
good.
vede la luce attraverso.
Allora,
Perfetta.
Si deve vedere la luce attraverso.
you gotta see the light.
Perfetta.
Anch'io. Vedi? La luce. Andiamo. Ok.
Perfetta.
Allora, facciamo.
Allora, l'acqua sta per bollire,
So we're cutting our.
un po' di
Andiamo
sale.
avanti,
Allora. Vuoi che faccio perfetto?
No.
Così? Va bene per te?
Sì.
Io metto 3 di qua, sì?
Sì.
Okay, I'm asking her permission because God forbid, you know, I know how to make lasagna, but God forbid I don't do it the way she wants, I'm going to be in trouble. And believe me,
Yeah, I'd be scared.
I don't want to be scared. I'm scared. Ho detto che io lo so come si fa la lasagna, però qua nella cucina tua io non voglio sbagliare.
No, no,
Ho
non sbagli.
paura.
No. Quando si fa da mangiare non si sbaglia.
When you're cooking, when you're making food to eat, you don't, it's never,
Va sempre bene.
it always comes out good. Okay.
Tanto poi vanno nella teglia, o piccoli o grandi.
In the end, you're just layering in the pan. It doesn't matter if they're big or small.
Non è il tortellino che lo devi...
Adesso
Not the tortellini, which we're going to make next week, so you all stay tuned. So we're cutting them into, this is about the size that you would buy at the store, in the boxes of the pre-cooked. So we're going to put these here.
Guarda,
Oh,
mettila
questo è
dentro
l'altro.
tu. Mettiamo dentro.
So they're doing some with the machine. I'm doing some here by hand.
Ok.
Giulia, io ho bisogno di 2...
I've got a lot of flour on mine because I made it
Yeah, yeah.
through with the rolling pin here. So vuoi un altro pezzo?
Non posso fare
Sì.
tutto?
Sì. Ok, tu fai questo pezzo? Sì?
Vai.
Questo è troppo grande?
No, no.
Okay, e io faccio questo. So I'm doing another piece, they're doing another piece. I don't know why it takes 2 of them to use the machine, but that's actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn this around,
Benissimo, aspetta.
move this olive oil can here, jar, and we're gonna go just a little bit this way. Okay. Adesso
Non mi piace.
la camera si vede
No,
tutto.
no, no.
Alright. Now, this time.
Mi passa manco, quanto così non può fare.
The two then the crab, yeah. Okay, so
She
we're.
made me do everything over here.
Oh, she did, huh?
Certo.
Because she thinks that you know how. Lei pensa, tu pensi che lei non sa fare?
She thinks I've never used a machine before.
Pensi che non ho mai usato la macchinetta?
No, penso che lei sa. Lei sa.
Da piccola, e ho fotografie da piccole, e sempre facevo. Angelina's been doing the machine here since she was a little kid. And I put the dough in, she'd roll it.
Sai come si chiama questo prodotto?
Okay.
Burasso.
Burasso.
Burasso con la Z. Burasso.
È lei che non sa dire la Z.
Burazzo.
Burasso.
Sai che significa buraccio in spagnolo? Briaco. So one of the things that questa cosa con la Z è tuo o è bolognese? Okay, so in Bologna they say the letter Z like an S, like a S. Like a, so I would tease her all the time.
Pista.
Pista.
In piazza.
In pizza.
Si è strappata? È bagnata.
Metti un po' di farina.
Metti un po' di farina e fa niente, tanto va in acqua.
No, se non vuoi fare, metti un po' di farina. There you go.
It's like Christmas.
Okay. So we've got all this beautiful pasta here. Put these all, spread them out to dry a little bit. They don't stick on each other.
Finita la pasta?
Se là non ce n'è più? Non so più.
So my rolled ones are actually a little thicker than the ones the girls did. So I'm going to do some, because she's a little nervous that we don't have enough pasta. So, guarda che facciamo. Facciamo un po' di, we're going to do a little bit of, fixing. Just a few. Watch, we're just going to do a little bit of, più grande adesso.
Serve la farina?
Of course, there's stuff on. So I'm going to roll them out just a little bit. Loro non sa bene. Loro penso che hai fatto qualcosa buona, allora non mette quello troppo lontano. Ok, faccio così.
Poggiamo sulle... Poggiamo questo sulla sedia. Ti sposti di qua.
I'm going to move over, but she needs to do this over here. Boom. All right. We're all working together here and teaching the kids how to do stuff. This is what cooking at home is all about. It's not always perfect, and yet it comes out perfect.
Passaggio non importa? O devi fare questo passaggio serve?
Sì.
La pasta dentro l'acqua? Lo devi spiegare per vedere?
Oh, so I'm going to point this over here a minute. So, se mettete questa quarta così si vede. Okay, so she's basically put in like 3 pieces of the pasta in the boiling water. She's gently taken, it's only cooked 1-2 minuti, sì.
Sì,
Yeah, just a minute or 2, and then she's taking it out and putting it on a bowl, e dopo tu metti qua.
Sì.
She's going to put it on a towel to dry it. Boom. E tu volevi che mette la camera su. She wanted me to put the camera on her, but then it's not listening to us. So anyway, she's draining that real quick. She's going to lay it out here on the towel, on the table.
Si raffreddano prima in acqua.
She's going to put them.
Perché sono bollenti.
She's running them in their cold water really quick because they're boiling, and then because that way they'll stop the cooking. And then she's going to put them on the towel to dry. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to continue very quickly.
Perché se sono troppo calde, quando metti il parmigiano si scioglie subito.
If the pasta is too hot when you assemble the lasagna, the parmigiano melts and it becomes one piece. Whereas you want it to kind of be, you want it to be in its more grated form. You want it to be simpler like that. Otherwise, it gets too melty and then it kind of defeats the purpose of using a good parmigiano. Well, beautiful green. All right. All right, we're almost there. Almost assembly time here. This is really fun. Okay. Now, because normale, tu metti così, sempre asciuga adesso o
Non devono essere bagnati, sì, li asciughi. Sì.
Ogni momento, ok.
Sì.
So she always dries it right away because she doesn't
Appena
want
appena, giusto che le togli l'acqua in eccesso.
Okay. That's the one. Okay. And here we go. We're working hard. So let me.
È un lavoro lungo, in 5 minuti sono finite le lasagne.
Yeah.
Le mangi.
She said it's a long, it's a lot of work. Well, no, it's not a lot. It's really, if you watched us here, this wasn't a hard process. It's a little bit time consuming. And as she said, in 5 minutes it's gone. But the thing is, one of the things you gotta learn how to do is sit at the table and eat slowly and enjoy each bite. Do not have a screen on, do not have a television on, do not have a phone nearby. If you've ever noticed when you're eating, have you ever been eating in front of the television and all of a sudden your dish is gone and you don't remember eating it? Because you're not paying attention. So guess what happens? You're eating and you're not paying attention and you missed out on all the flavor. Take your time, one bite at a time, and enjoy it. Savor it. It's so good. This is a dish you do not want to eat with any distraction other than the people around you, because when you're all sitting there eating, the table is quiet because people are eating and enjoying. And of course, probably, it's really quiet when they're really hungry. But around here, number one thing we do is talk about food, which kind of makes you always hungry. Quando parlo di cose da mangiare, fa sempre più fame.
Sì, Poi qua ci sono dei profumi.
When you start talking about, oh yeah, here, just the smells. And you walk around town and it just always smells good. Certain times of day, always ready. Ok, se sei pronto, e quando metti questi qua, asciugo io. Ok. Per mettere le prossime, faccio io questo.
Ok.
Alright, so she's going to put the next ones in the water, and I'm going to dry these babies off. I always kind of squeeze the water out. Makes it a little easier. And it doesn't matter if they're perfectly shaped. It doesn't matter if there's a rip in one, because when you layer it, you never, ever, ever notice. So now, I'm just going to take this and dry them off. You want to make sure you're using good cotton cloth towels too. None of those microfiber things. Sempre belle queste cose di cotone.
Sì.
Quello si usano tanto per i tovaglioli delle microfibre, così non mi piace quel no, brutta. So,
Un po', ma
we are getting ready now. Huh?
bisogna che si raffreddasse un po', ma guarda che bello.
The sauce is gorgeous. Look. Aspetta. Quello è plastico.
No, questo no, non è raffreddato.
Okay. This sauce here. C'è il cucchiaio? Fa vedere com'è o qualcosa. I want you to see how thick this is. Look at how thick. Can you see how thick this is? It is mostly meat with a little teeny bit of juice on the top, which is mostly the olive oil and the meat from the sauce, the grease from the meat, but it's like all the flavor. Look at how thick that is. Beautiful. Oh my God. Okay. Buonissimo. So right now, first thing she's gonna do, che prima cosa mette un po' di
Ragù?
Ok,
Un po' di
faccio
ragù?
io?
Sì, brava.
Però meno carne o non fa niente?
No, no, no.
Oh,
Prendi tutto, mischi
Ok.
e prendi su.
Okay, so she's saying you mix. I tend to put more sauce on the bottom and then put the meats and stuff in the middle, but she said put the meat, the whole thing, mix it all up and put it. Allora quando metti qua?
Ok, stendi.
Ok,
A posto.
è
Via.
così.
Comincio a fare lo strato di questo. Oh, forse però con questo non si vede.
Okay, hold on, we're gonna move the sauce over. I'm gonna just pull this back. Can you see? Okay. So basically, I have a simple thin layer of this meat sauce here. Oh my God, so. Ok, e questi qua, sì?
Sì.
Diciamo, questo è un po' lungo, no?
Lo fai tu
Sì, sì,
anche
sì,
con
sì.
le mani, fai la misura. È per quello che non ha importanza come le
So now, it
tagli.
doesn't matter, it's gonna be long, and then I'm just gonna cut a piece off, hold on. So,
Sì.
I'm gonna cut some pieces. But it doesn't matter because we can band-aid it all together. Facciamo così?
Sì.
Okay.
Basta che lo copri.
Doesn't really matter. They don't have to go in rows and all that stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, I'm just so ready for this. Okay. Adesso
Adesso ci va di nuovo il ragù.
I'm listening to her. I'm deferring to her. So now sauce again. Now I just want you to see how beautiful this is, huh? Just one beautiful covering of greenness. Oh my goodness.
Vai, vai, vai.
Okay, I'm not doing enough here.
Brava, tutto coperto.
Yeah, I'm pretty hardcore about getting all corners, nooks and crannies. Basta così o di più?
Sì.
Okay. And adesso, now
Bechamel.
the bechamel. So, I want you to see, it's a nice layering of the sauce, but it's not like completely 100% covered. So now we're just drizzling. Now hold it up. Let's see. This nice thin bechamel on here. Look at this.
Vedi quasi liquida, però cremosa.
Pretty liquidy, but still creamy. Cremosa.
Bechamel e ragù.
Cremosa is a beautiful.
Bechamel e ragù a go go.
She says bechamel and ragu are really, really good. Così.
Ok.
Okay, so we've pretty much just kind of doppled it around, drizzled it around. Now, Parmigiano cheese. And this is really a good sprinkle. We're talking a good snow cover.
Coperte.
Completely covered. Coperte. Like everything
Tutti
is,
gli angoli.
every little nook and cranny. Or angoli is every little corner.
Ok,
Okay,
un altro
so you can
strato.
see it's pretty much white all over. Now we're going to do another layer with the pasta. Let's see. Oh. Oops.
Vabbè.
Cut a piece off here. This one was long. And then this one here, it's funky shape, which actually turns out to be perfect here.
Vai, vai, chiudi, chiudi.
No, lo so, dipende.
Bagnato però.
Lo so, asciuga qua. So I need another little piece because you got to make sure you cover it all up. I'm cut a little piece off, and I'm just going to dry this to finish this little triangle corner here. pull this down. Così. E così. And like this. There we go. Now it's all covered, tutta coperta. Okay. And now I'm going to dry these. Ragu, bechamel e formaggio.
Sì. Noi diciamo forma. Forma di parmigiano. Sai il parmigiano è tondo? La forma si chiama,
Okay.
forma di parmigiano.
So, making some space over here. Okay, I'm going to pull this over so you can see a little bit better here.
Stai?
Yeah. Quello che si vede un po' meglio. Okay, here we go. You can see a little bit better. Huh? With a nice layer of the ragu. Oh my gosh, this is so, I can't tell you how this smells so good. It's like, oh, I'm ready.
Metti. Oh, adesso si vede Giulia.
Oh, they're
ciao.
nice.
Ah, che malaugurio!
Giulia.
So, anyway, it's okay. The girls are back. They forget we're on camera. They come hooting and hollering in. It's okay.
Siamo veri noi siamo veri al 100%, ok?
And we're real, 100%.
Giulia, vieni a guardare se Dorina fa bene.
Wow,
Oh
che
yeah,
meraviglia.
come and see if I've done it well. Yeah, okay.
Stupendo.
Vai di bechamel, vai.
Stupendo.
Oh, grazie, perché non sa cucinare.
Giulia, prendi un cucchiaino, assaggia il ragù.
No,
Perché
lei.
bisogna sempre assaggiare.
Angelina ha fame.
You know, I have to say, I usually taste everything. And I deferred to their taste, but un cucchiaio per me.
Soffia. E tu hai fame?
Oh, questo è per me, grazie.
Com'è?
Brucia. Buono?
Wow. Wow. That's some good stuff. Okay, and now, a nice little layer of this. And now we're gonna cover every angolo with the formaggio.
Che buono.
Parmigiano.
Mom, where'd you put your cup?
I didn't touch it. Okay.
Oh, this one?
Basta così o di più?
Questo è
Vai.
Vai.
Giulia, questo è tuo?
No.
No, you know, it's probably the one
No,
next
this
to
is yours, because I took it and
Io
I
ce l'ho
drank
qua.
it.
Okay.
No, io ho messo qua.
Sì, l'ho spostato io.
Sì,
pure.
ok.
Sì, sì.
Così?
Sì.
Okay, grazie.
Siamo per
She's
procedere.
like, make sure I get all the edges. Molto particolare. Very
Okay.
particular, this woman.
This
Okay.
woman.
This woman.
No, non è vero, dai.
Dai. Dammi dammi un pezzo.
Ah, non abbiamo assaggiato la besciamella.
Brava.
Vuoi
Hai
assaggiare la
ragione.
besciamella?
Oh,
She
yes.
just wants to taste everything.
Assaggio.
Ho fame.
Now they're having fun tasting. Oops.
Ma troppo.
Oh, questo qua.
È venuta bene? Sì,
Questo è
sì.
asciutto.
Meno male. Abbiamo sbagliato tutto. Prendi un altro buonasto asciutto.
Ma ho
I'm
fame.
just so excited.
Eh sì, queste ci sono un po'.
Non fa niente, questo è
No,
perfetto.
meglio.
Pappolate.
Non
Servono
fa niente, non serve. We had some little pieces that broke off in the water because two pieces got stuck together. Even though she's very careful about putting them.
Va bene?
Yeah, this is.
Dorina, hai assaggiato la besciamella?
No.
Male perché è fantastica. È buonissima.
Okay, that was a clean finger. Oh wow. That bechamel's almost as good as mine. È quasi buono come il mio.
Meno male.
Scusa, fammi lavare le mani. Ok, wash the hands. Allora, la carne.
Quella dietro è più fresca.
E comunque ricordo
sì.
perché tanto fa lei cucina molto delicato, capito? Con i sapori molto...
Bolognese.
Sì. Cioè tipo se la lasagna te la fa lei e te la faccio io, vengono due sapori diversi.
Questa è la cucina e questa è come deve
Oh,
essere.
scusa, ma è
la
sempre
cucina
qualsiasi cosa.
mia è differente dalla cucina tua.
Certo.
So what Julia is saying is that her mother cooks more delicately, more of the Bologna style, the northern style, and she cooks a little different. She goes, if I make the
Io
same
metto un
dish
sacco
for
di
you,
spezie, odori, queste cose.
she uses a little bit more spices, and she just cooks with a little more, I guess we'll say, gusto or gusto. Facciamo un perché c'è
Un altro piccolino mio?
e questo è abbastanza per try to make it so we got one more layer here.
Andiamo di
Allora,
bechamel.
la bechamel, so she's going to do the bechamel this time. La prima piano era mamma, seconda era
Ah, allora
mia,
abbiamo
allora
fatto
questo è
un po'
tuo, Angelina finisce. Allora,
Esatto.
okay, so we're each going to have a layer. So anyhow, allora, erano più che pensavo.
Hai visto?
Sì, she was
Anche
worried.
perché la lasagna bolognese è alta, molto alta.
So the
Molti
Bolognese lasagna is very tall, and so they make it very. Noi facciamo
Molti
così,
strati.
al ristorante di papà,
Sì,
faceva alto così,
sì.
con la pasta verde,
Sì.
con la besciamella. No, tu metti di più.
Vai, vai, giù.
Vedi che ognuno...
No, io mi piace così.
Gli ultimi due strati falli bene.
So she's a little heavier handed on the bechamel layer, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. And this is what makes your kitchen yours, my kitchen mine, hers and hers.
Sì.
It's your own touch. So when we talk about recipes, recipes are for baking, and even baking, even though they say it's a precise art, I've twisted baking around so much. But cooking is yours. It's your kitchen. It's what's your
La tua
heart.
mano che
It's
cambia.
your hand that changes. You know, it's your likes and dislikes. Maybe you don't like Parmigiano. Maybe you like a different cheese, and you're going to make your lasagna with pecorino romano. A chi vuole qualcosa differente,
Certo.
si cambia la tua cucina, è tua.
Qui al sud mettono le fette di salame, la mortadella, la riempiono di...
Io ti dico solo che se c'ero io a farla tutta, forse la tua finisce.
Metti un altro po' allora.
No, adesso basta.
Ci sono degli angoli...
sì, ma basta. Si è
See, if this
asciugato.
was her kitchen, that whole thing of cheese would have been done already. But you know, again, we're doing it kind of like half and half. We're showing you can go heavier handed on the grated cheese if you want.
Vai.
So, okay. Posso?
Questo pezzo.
Io aspetterei un attimo a mettere sugli altri perché è troppo pieno. Lo vuoi finire tu l'ultimo strato?
She won't really want me to do it so that.
Because that's what we're here for.
I'll put one on.
Grab a piece. So now we're using we should have used these ones earlier. These are the- Go ahead, put it there.
She's laughing at me.
Because you're funny.
It's true.
So let's get this big one. See? Alright, get a triangular piece. Un triangolo, facciamo così come una puzzle. Oggi. One more piece, un altro piccolo pezzo.
Quello li ho spostati io.
Ok.
Oh,
Okay.
che meraviglia.
Fate voi?
We're all like excited.
È che ho fame, me la voglio mangiare ora.
Oh, anch'io. She's like so hungry.
No, devi dire hangry.
Hangry.
Oh, Angelina has taught Julia the word hangry. Allora, questo è il tuo pezzo di formaggio.
Quello lasciala, non lo mettere.
No,
anzi,
non so.
lo vuoi mangiare?
No, solo ho detto che quello è il tuo pezzo di
Ma lo
formaggio.
vuoi mangiare?
No,
Tu?
Mangia tu.
No, io metto solo per insaporire.
Her piece of cheese rinds that she put in.
Guarda come è morbido.
It's all soft and mushy.
Vai.
Noi finisciamo e mettiamo un altro.
Metti, ma non c'è più.
Well, we don't have any more. Same.
Ma anche se metti uno quello sopra con solo formaggio, no. Ok, fine.
Dobbiamo finirla.
Okay, this is home cooking. Remember, if anybody's watching this, just remember we are home cooking. This is not a restaurant, and yes, we're, these are home chefs. Yes, this is what I do for a living, but at home, the most important place. We're finishing this up
We don't
because.
have to finish all of it.
Okay, well, you wanna.
Nell'ultimo strato. Dai, no, la scabra brava. Che meraviglia.
I love how they think we don't know how to cook. It makes me laugh. But it's okay. I'm good with that. Okay. Hai capito? Che ho detto?
Sì,
Okay.
ma non è vero, non è che penso a questo. Andiamo?
Metti. She's
Wow.
all excited to put the cheese on.
Adesso possiamo anche abbondare, quindi facciamo la crosticina.
Per questo è l'ultimo, metto questo sopra.
No, perché
okay.
si deve finire così la lasagna.
Okay, so
La lasagna.
la lasagna. Most people in the States always end with a layer of pasta on top, but here they do not. She says no, you end with the sauce and the cheese on top that is going to crinkle and crust up, and that's that. So that's what's important. So you gotta make sure you have this all over the whole top.
Sì, così facciamo la crosticina.
Crispy. Okay, so this is our finished. Oh my God. Ooh, pesante. So we've got our finished beautiful lasagna that's going to go in the oven. Per quanto tempo?
Dipende dal forno, mezz'ora o 3/4 d'ora.
Sneaking more cheese in.
Per
So-
180-200 gradi.
So just like normal, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. 180 to 200 is approximately 350 to 375 Fahrenheit, or 180 to 200 Celsius. You put this in, the top's going to get all croccante, the top, it's going to get all nice and crispy, and then you're going to serve it, serve normale con un po' di ragu, sì? Oh no, no, così. Okay,
Così.
a lot of people, with a little bit of sauce on top. They do not put extra sauce on top of the lasagna in Bologna. Okay, so you don't expect it to be this big wet dish. It is going to be so moist on the inside and crunchy on the top. It's going to be so good. So that's the end of this right now. What I want to do first is thank you guys all for watching and for being here live. And those of you who watched the whole thing, you're awesome. Anybody who jumped in or who watched a little bit, because I know you're busy, I hope you come back and watch it again. This is a real, authentic Bolognese lasagna. And I'm going to really think of all of you when I'm eating it later on, because it is going to be so good. I'm going to be like, this is good. And I'm so sorry the people watching it didn't get to taste it. But I do hope that you'll make this at home. And if you'll do me a favor, please share this video. Share any of my videos. Let's get the word out there. Let's get back to the table. Let's revive the Rosetto effect. Send me hearts. Send me stars. We're going to make this thing grow. We need to get back to the table, and the best way to do that is what we just did here today: cook together and then sit at the table and eat together. That's really, really important in our lives. Okay, so please, if you will, like and share my page, this video here on Facebook, on YouTube. We're trying to build it as big as we can so we can get the word out. We want this to be a nationwide, if not even a worldwide movement. Let's get back to the table. Okay, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. We do have some more recipes. You guys want to come and say goodbye? Come on. Ciao.
Ciao.
Julia and Carmen and me and Angelina that you know so well. So thank you all.